Okay, I'm so fucking excited right now. I was inspired to make this video. So I'm watching this movie called Sing Street. It's fucking awesome. It's so good that I actually stopped to make this video. Okay, so I'm at this part where this young kid wants to form a band to impress a girl, and his older brother, who knows about music and stuff, is like telling him, you know, because the kid's like, we need to do covers first because we need to like learn how to play. And his older brother's like, you don't have to learn how to play. Rock and roll is a risk. Did the Sex Pistols know how to play? Like, you have to learn how not to play. And that takes practice. And this is just so gratifying for me to hear, especially today, because so today I pulled the cards Kura, which means it's about blossoming and that you're just getting started, so to be patient. And the other card I pulled is the Hangman, which means a lot of things, but it is also about patience. It's about just like hanging out and letting things, kind of looking at things from a different perspective and letting things, letting things kind of sink in before you make a move. And today felt like that. It was like I kind of feel like I didn't get much done today, and that there are ideas like right on the periphery that I can't quite grab. Like I told you, I think that a third story is coming in, and I know includes an octopus and a spider, and then I realized, wow, they both have 8 legs, which seems kind of interesting. And then I realized like the number 8 is very significant to me. It always has been. The 8 is like infinity, and it's also the 2 circles, and it's my life path number in numerology. And Eve, actually, the name is the number 8, and that stands for like abundance and prosperity, among other things. And it's also very interesting because part of that life path is apparently that they struggle with, they're here to be like philanthropists, so they, I feel like I can't say that word right. They have meant to have a lot of money to serve the people, but before they accept and trust themselves, they actually are usually don't have money or go through scarcity mindsets because they feel like having money is bad, or they don't trust themselves to serve with it. Like having that much power is scary. So I'm ready to trust myself and have that freedom. And I think that change is actually coming soon. Part of the rebirth of the Golden Queen, that story is centered around like claiming that my natural state is to be abundant, and that all of us have been kind of living under this program that tells us we need to like work really hard and compete and to just be more hungry for more. So anyway, this new story, again, I don't know what it's about exactly, but I could see that it's a lot about going deep underwater and being high in the air, and I'm realizing like the intersection of those is the heart, and that it's about we can get really instinctual and in the body, and really like in nature, and like with the sex and the serpent and low on the ground, and that's actually like all good. Or we can get like super celestial and like spiritual and heady and logical and masculine, and that's good. But this, I know in my life, it's the fact to be able to have both of those together, where it's not like I flip from one to the other or I deny one at the expense of the other, and to actually be able to like embrace both of them. I feel like that's what we're coming into, right? The integration of the masculine and feminine. And so the story has to do with that. But it's weird to be in that place where like I'm seeing specific ideas coming in, but not really knowing how to put it together, and starting to you know, get nervous. Like I was looking at a possible venue for the show, and it was a place where I had actually been to because my Indian dance teacher had choreographed and produced a show around Sita, and so I'd gone there because I had displayed a few of my paintings and to also to see it, and I really liked the venue and talked to the manager for the first time about like, you know, if I were to do a show, like what would I do? Because I've never thought about doing that before. And then she asked why, and I told her about my idea. This was like last year, actually last November, and I knew then pretty much what I know now. Like, it's gonna be like this mix of storytelling and music and art, and I've never done anything like this before. And so anyway, she told me the process, and so I thought of them today, and I looked them up. And what's interesting is on the very date that I thought of doing my performance, which is October 15th, they are there's something else booked that day, but what's booked is a night of storytelling from the same organization that I'm taking the storytelling class from. So that just felt really interesting. And I've been working on a collage for the past few months that I noticed today has, like, I hadn't looked at it in a few weeks. It has an octopus in it, which I remember at the time thinking that's weird, but I just put it in there. It has the program from that that performance last November, which I thought I put in there because there's a figure of a woman under a flowering tree that's supposed to represent Sita, and I related that to my Queen story, and I think that's why I put it in. But very clearly on there it says Dance Place, which is the name of the venue that I was thinking of. So that just felt like a neat, you know, like there's something there. I don't know what, but anyway, I started getting, yeah, like, what am I doing? I don't know anything about putting this show together or how, or you know, like that production that my dance teacher did had, like, you know, lots and lots of dancers and music, and it was very well produced, and she's done this for like 20 years, you know. So yep. So anyway, this kind of reminder that, like, the practice is about trusting. The practice is about trusting and about being confident that there's something inside that is unique and wants to be expressed, and that that power that made me and that made the world knows exactly what it's doing. And if I just allow it to come through, it will come through. Like that, the practice is to keep letting go and allowing that, to have patience, to allow the blossoming, you know? So, try to think of other things that this movie has already said that really inspired me. Yeah, you should watch it. One thing is just, yeah, this kid is hitting on this woman. He forms a band to impress a girl, and his brother's like, and you think you're gonna, like, you know, get this girl using someone else's art, right? It's like, if you want to show up for someone, don't imitate. Yeah. Oh, and while we're talking about inspiring movies, so I saw the film version of The Little Prince, which is a story that is very close to my heart, especially the idea of, like, being tamed. And that's a big part of my inquiry right now, around intimacy. Like, how can we have connection and loyalty and all of that without feeling trapped? And the idea of being tamed, right? It's like, I kind of make you beholden to me so that there's this tie, and then we become sentimental, and then, you know, I feel pain when you're gone. Whereas if I'm wild and free, we don't have that special connection, but I also don't feel suffering. So something in between, right? And in this, so in the Prince story, it's like one line that they say is, the aviator says, you know, when when a mystery is overpowering, don't disobey. You dare not disobey. And and that's the space I like to be in. It's like just to be in complete awe, right? Like something is happening and I don't know how, but it's undeniable that there's something magical happening here. And to just suspend disbelief, you know, and just like go into it. Oh, and I love this theme that the Little Prince talks about, that it's very present in the work in this and in this show. It's you know, it's only with the heart that one can see rightly. That, you know, the essential is pretty much invisible. Like all that is real is actually what can be seen with the physical eyes. And so I'm working a lot with like the idea of sound, and oh, and I was really also looking. This paradox keeps coming back and back again and again to me about, like, you know, people say, you know, you like don't want to be beholden to the past or live in the past, so like you want to be in the present. But for me, like ancestry and history is really important. It comes back over and over again as vital. And so it's been hard to reconcile for me. Like, how can you be new and fresh and completely open when you also have this tie to the past? And then there's also this other idea about like that everything's already been done, everything's already been written, like the blueprint for our entire stories with us when we're born. Like this show is already done and created. So if that's true, then that in itself is like a history, right? It's like the memory we have is actually not of the past, but it's of the future. And that's fucking crazy, right? So that came up again in other ways today, which was fun because that's a big part of what I'm talking about and exploring is this, like, what does time mean? And yeah, and the story and how it's really like an inverse thing. Like we're not even writing the story. The story's been written and we're experiencing it. Yeah.